Greetings, Blood Bowlers, and welcome back to a brand new episode of All or Nuffle. My name is Baz, and today I am joined by Steve. Say hello, Steve.
Hi, guys.
You may notice that I have had to. I've had to bring in. You're a super sub, Steve. I've had to bring in a substitution because Gary is not with us this evening. Don't worry, he's not died. It's his missus's birthday today, so he's engaged elsewhere. We miss him dearly and wish his missus a very happy birthday. But yeah, fuck Gary, on to something else now. So Steve, as you may know, has featured on some episodes in the past, and we did a couple of different things, but one of the main focuses was getting you ready for the Bugman's Belter back in February.
That's right, yeah.
First ever tournament, played little to no Blood Bowl at all. Went and got battered pretty much every game, but had a fantastic time.
That's it.
See, he got battered every single time, and he's back for more. We've purchased tickets for the Full Beard Cup, haven't we?
We have indeed. We have. So we're going into the Full Beard, and yeah, I'm coming over here and back onto it because I need some guidance to get ready for this tournament. Because I went in and got absolutely smashed. I literally decided to try something. It didn't quite work. Was a Boxes to Tabletop Challenge where I was going to take starter sets and get into tournaments with it. Anyhow, life got in the way. I only completed one, which was the Bugman Belter. I got the Blood Bowl starter set and I got straight into it and I had two teams to pick from, Imperial Nobility and Orcs, and I went with the Imperial Nobility and I got smashed, but I had an amazing time. I absolutely loved it. It was good fun. Really enjoyed the community, really enjoyed the people out there, enjoyed the game as well, and just, really enjoyed everything that was, that was the Blood Bowl and the Bugman's Belter. Henceforth, got the tickets for the Full Beard Cup, which sold out really quickly, by the way. So
unreal.
One of the only things that Warhammer and Games Workshop sells out so quickly is all of the Blood Bowl tournaments. Warhammer Games Workshop, I think you should do more events, maybe. Because
absolutely.
Lots of us love them.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the time that the tickets went on sale for Full Beard Cup, they sold out within. They went on at 7 p.m. of the release day, and they were gone by 9 or 10 a.m. the following morning.
Yeah, they were.
But at the time that they were coming out, the Scaventide After Dark event, where everyone stays late and builds all the minis and plays the first game or whatever of the new edition of AOS, that had been advertised for like nearly 2 months and still had tickets available.
No, it's one of the literally since getting into Blood Bowl, it's been the one game system that I've absolutely loved getting involved with and playing, and it's just really easy getting into and getting on in gaming. First tournament, I had hardly played any games at all. Went there and again, like I said, I got smashed, but had a good time at it and just enjoyed it. Everyone there were brilliant. I was so nervous, so worried that I was going to meet a bunch of neckbeards and get told off for not knowing how to play the game and everything like this. Complete opposite. And that's why I bought tickets for the Full Beard Cup. Again, I haven't played much in between, but I want to go from this point forward.
Haven't played much translates to hasn't played at all.
I have played a couple of games. I played you, but yeah, I have played a couple of games. But I actually want to. That's why now it's the end of August. And the Full Beard Cup is at the end of October. I want to use as much knowledge from yourself and from your audience to help me pick the best team. And then, ideally, I'd like to get some Blood Bowl free games on with yourself and get as many games as possible. Maybe enter a mini tournament before we go. I just want to be a bit more prepared this time round with a team that is not... I want a team that will do what I want to do. I think I've figured out my play style. Type of play style, but we'll get into
just a way of playing that you enjoy doing and are more likely to lean into.
That's it, yes. So I've played I've played a few games now. I tried a few things out, and I realised I like a certain way of playing. So I think that's I want a team that's going to support me in that way. So that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help pick my team and go along the journey and obviously have a chat about what it is the Full Beard Cup is, and about also want to pick up on a couple of other things that have since come off the back of the Bugman's Belt as well. So
I think we're planning to do a couple of episodes between now and the Full Beard Cup, and I think a good way to encompass what the entire purpose of these episodes are gonna be is it sits somewhere in between being reminiscent and having learned from the Bugman's Belter and taking that to pay the way towards the Full Beard Cup, not with the intention of, going in to win everything, but just what you learn, what you can change to, even if you finish 3 places higher than you did at the Bugman's Belter, that's, it's growth.
This is it. Yes, this is it. So I achieved what I wanted to, was complete a tournament and score a touchdown last time. That was all I wanted from the Bugman's Belter, and I achieved that. I scored 1 touchdown out of 3 games and got mauled. But I achieved what I wanted to. So this time round, I would like to, should we... Yeah, no, so I was hopping around the place now because obviously I want to go through what I want to achieve. I kind of have a bit of a plan here what I want to go through. But no, basically what I do want to achieve is win 1 game. That's it. Yeah. So this time round, I want to have won a single game. So,
so just for context for the listeners, when Steve messaged me saying he needed my help again, I said, that's absolutely fine, but you can plan all the episodes.
Yeah, so no, I put a plan together. So, but yeah, I think, we'll bring it back, go from the top on it. So we've gone through...
Absolutely.
So obviously, since the Bugman's Belter, we've been doing a couple of different things. I've been been busy with business and work as it is, but also been trying to figure my way through what I want to do social media wise and all this kind of stuff. And I picked up the Skaven Tide box set. I want to learn to play that game. I want to get into 40k, play a bit of that, as well as picked up Horus Heresy and Legius Imperialis, all different game systems. I haven't finished painting a single army.
Didn't you pick some bolt action up as well?
I did pick up some bolt action as well. So I've got everything. I've got a vast collection of stuff going on at the present moment. And that's what I've kind of been doing. I've been dabbling with it. But what's mad is I pick up the game systems, trying to get people to play against, and it's been tricky. It's not as easy to get into on these game systems. I've got Kill Team. So again, the other thing is with my local hobby club, my local gaming store, I've started a hobby club up there with the owner and a couple of other guys, and we're trying to create our own hobby club, trying to, I say reinvent the wheel, just try and make it a bit better. We recently had a Middle-earth battle strategy game night day where we painted all the armies and had people who've never played come down and play with the armies there. And we kind of got this idea that we want to paint all these armies up and get people involved without having to spend money on buying the miniatures in case they don't like it, or try a different angle, getting people into the hobby. So that's what I've been at. So buying lots of miniatures, not doing much, and then doing a little bit with this hobby club like I've been going on. So yeah, that's what's been going on in the present moment. But yourself, you've been busy cracking on with something else, haven't you?
I have. TikTok has taken a little bit of a hit. I've kind of fallen out of love with the platform. It's gotten to a position where, just in my opinion, and this might sound like, I'm saying this just because my content's not going viral, but I feel like the algorithm does not reward people who put in work.
I think it's funny because we were talking, were you on that live? We were chatting about it, basically like actually how big Games Workshop as a company or everything is, and actually how big our community is. It isn't as big as we think it is.
Nope.
And TikTok isn't. I'm not getting that. I do my lives once a week with the hobby club, the online hobby club I have, which is fine, and we got that going on. But apart from that, there's not much else that I get back from it. Apart from the people I've met. I mean, I met you from it, so did come.
Absolutely. No, like I was just about to say, like you could put the work in on 6 videos that you release over the span of a week and gain 2 followers from it. And I know people will say that it's down to your content, but it doesn't matter how good your content is, how how hard you work on it, some stuff, the way that algorithm works, just is not going to get pushed in people's faces, and people just aren't going to see it. So kind of fell out of love with it a little bit, and I've moved to Instagram partially, which is going pretty well, nearly 700 followers. So it's slower than what my TikTok growth were, but I'm doing it under the banner of Nuffle's Nomads, and I know plenty of people who listen to this have heard about Nuffle's Nomads and what it is. But for anybody that hasn't, off the back of the Bugman's Belter, me and Steve, Steve's from Bournemouth. You're around Bournemouth way, aren't you? I've not got that wrong,
that's
have I?
right. Yeah.
I'm from Yorkshire. We met up in person for the first time for the Bugman's Belter in February. Bumped into a really weird goblin of a man called Gary, like really bad stalker vibes, like honest to God. And he's just hung around like a bit of toilet roll that's balled up in your arsehole ever since. But no, joking is...
Please, on this t-shirt, just put a balled up bit of toilet roll. just on the back of his...
But joking aside, we met Gary, he's from I forget the specific place. He's over Exeter way somewhere, Taunton sort of way. And just really hit it off with him, and we were like, do you know what? Like, it's so great that people who would have never have met have these chance encounters at these events and can become firm friends, and then you've got somebody that you can meet up with at future tournaments. And it got me thinking that there's a lot of, not necessarily me myself, I'm pretty comfortable going to places on my own and not feeling socially awkward, but given the area of society we work in with these hobbies, there are a lot of people who are very socially awkward, even some people who are maybe neurodivergent who, that's why they suffer with social awkwardness or social anxiety. So decided to start a community on WhatsApp called Nuffle's Nomads. The idea being to just invite as many people that play Blood Bowl. Originally, it was just from around the UK, but we've got people in Scandinavia, people in America that have joined, close to 100 members. And the idea was just to get as many people in one place so that, Joe Bloggs can find a tournament that he's too scared to... No, not too scared, but a little bit anxious about attending on his own. And he can post in there and say, guys, I'm going to this tournament on this day. Is there any nomads who would like to attend with me? I'm a little bit nervous about going, with the dream being that, 5 or 6 people are replying saying, just bought my ticket, see you there, blah, blah, blah. And I think a really good way to encapsulate what Nuffle's Nomads is what I've put in the bio of the Instagram account is uniting Blood Bowl players from across the world to kick first tournament nerves to the curb, and that is exactly what it is. And it's going really well, and I'm really, really enjoying it, and there's a lot of really cool people in it. So that's what I've been up to.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm part of that community, and I tell you what, that WhatsApp group does not stop going, which is awesome. It's amazing. And the thing is that, like, I say, like, we tried out the first time I met you. You helped me through the first tournament, and I can just say by that alone how awesome it is. And there was another, you had your mate who came along, then suddenly Gary's there, and now we got the Full Beard Cup. And do you know how many nomads potentially attending at the Full Beard Cup?
6 or 7, I think. Which
is, again, I'm really looking forward to. I'm looking forward to going to the tournament. We're going up the day before. We're going to hopefully have some tables there to do some practice games on the day before. If not, just meeting up a bunch of people before going to a tournament and just chatting Blood Bowl and having a laugh and looking forward to it. And another thing I found that I really enjoyed at the Bugman's Belter was when I was at the tournament, the people I played against, I wanted to know how they were doing. Or then suddenly I was with you, I wanted to know how your games were going. And then there was a couple other people we met when we got up there. And then suddenly, like, you're not... Yeah, although I wasn't doing so well, I was so happy to see how other people were doing, like, and obviously yourself did extremely well. But
we'll get onto that because it swings and roundabouts, because I went to the Davitational back in July and had one of the worst Blood Bowl weekends I've ever had. So I need the Full Beard Cup, and I'm not saying I need to finish second or higher or in the top 10. I need to finish at middle of the park to even out that second place and that, like, third from bottom or whatever it was, just to bring it back somewhere in middle.
Yeah. But it's that, like, it's but you going there and then knowing that there's going to be nomads there. So even if there's, you me, and if there's 4 other people there, just being able to follow those guys around, see how they're doing for
absolutely.
it, and just get excited and know that we can support each other in one way or another, because there was things when I was there with the chaps, when we went for the Bugman's Belt, Rory was one of the guys there, and he was telling me some bits and pieces how to play against Khorne, and I used his move. I can't remember what it was exactly, but the whole thing is they got frenzy, they push and push again, and being able to push him to open up a gap that made it so that I could score my first touchdown. I wouldn't have been able to do that if I hadn't had that conversation with Rory.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing. But again, this is what's awesome about all of it. The community people support each other. I don't know. It's that thing because I think it's a game, which is like a sports game. People people like supporting each other in it. And I don't know. It just, to me, it seems that way. It seems a bit better that way.
Yeah.
Whereas,
and I think a good way to touch on, I think what you're trying to get at is that if you're traveling with a group of people, or you're not traveling with, but you're traveling with the intention of meeting up with people to be social as well as partake in the event, it does not matter how fucking terrible your weekend's going in terms of the actual game itself, because you can always be checking in on your results, Gary's results, and oh, you've won 3 games, fucking brilliant, fantastic. And you go to someone and say, I've been battered in my first 2 games, and they say, well, have you thought about this? Maybe you're neglecting this. That's the part. And I always say that when it comes to travelling for a tournament, the excitement of a tournament starts the moment that you leave the house in the morning. No matter how far you've got to travel, the journey there, the meeting up beforehand, the registering, seeing the fixtures for the first round appear, every aspect of it, the night in between, when you were probably going to go out for a curry and a few beers or something, everything. It's the entire experience, not just the games. I think that's what I like, and I think having people there that you not necessarily already know, because there's a lot of nomads that I'll be meeting for the first time ever in person, but having people that you're already familiar with in this sense of community just kind of adds a little accent to the excitement and the fun that you would already be having anyway if you were traveling alone.
Yeah. No, 100%. I couldn't agree more. Again, it's something. It's one of the things I'm very much looking forward to with the Full Beard Cup. It's up there with playing. It's meeting people,
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I am so excited about doing that, and I'm excited that you've created Nuffle Nomads and that this community is here. Which is separate and not saying anything about any of the other communities that are out there, but it feels a bit more personal, and people communicate in that kind of way. So I'm very excited about getting up there, putting the Nomads logo on my shirt and going up and having some fun, so
absolutely.
So getting into it then. So the next part is I want to go through what the Full Bid Cup. So this is, am I right in saying it's 5 games spread over 2 days?
It is indeed. It is indeed.
So compared to the Bugman's Belt, which was 3 games in 1 day, and I was shattered at the end of it. I mean, a buzzing, but shattered. This is over 2 days. So this is new to me. I've never done a 2-day tournament in my life. I literally don't know how this is going to go at all. I don't.
Steve, as far as I'm concerned, you said that your goal was to win 1 game. You've got 2 extra opportunities to do so when you're playing 5 games instead of 3.
Yeah, true. So, but I mean, so the setup for Full Beard Cup. So, am I right in saying it's Swiss format? So basically, if you win, you end up going up against someone who's won. If you drawn, you go against someone who's drawn, and if you lost, you end up with someone you've lost. You lost, and then it kind of balances, because you could end up on these. The only thing I find with these tournaments, which is nerve-wracking as hell, is ended up, if you get paired at the start with someone who's just top table material from the off, you're there, you could be.
I mean, the thing is as well that if it makes you feel any, well, it might not, but for example, at Davitational, it got to round 3, and there were people who are recognised names in the community right down near the bottom because they've just had a shit day. So you can play against a top recognised, celebrity player at any point, because ultimately, no matter how good you are, the dice can still fuck you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think once you get yourself in a headspace of it doesn't matter who's against the table, I just play my game, and if they beat me, they beat me, but maybe they'll have another crap game of dice, and maybe you'll beat them.
Mm-hmm. This is it. Like, so again, I mean, well, it is the dice at the end of the day, no matter what. Like, it all comes down to dice throws. Like, there is an element of skill. Don't get me wrong, but there is also an element of chance, isn't there?
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
So, but yeah, so
100%.
So we got 5 games over 2 days. It's it's an interesting one. Do you know how long the full bid's been going for? I don't know, actually.
No idea.
No, but it's, well, like I said, it was sold out so quickly. It did.
Yeah,
definitely. Just like the Bugman's Belt, we bought the ticket. We just bought it when it came out, and we're like, yeah, we're going to go to that.
I don't know if you noticed, but if you go to the Full Beard Cup page on Eventbrite now, it's actually got a little tag underneath it that says that 87% of people who bought tickets are returning customers.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know if that means for any Warhammer event, or if that literally means anybody that bought, like 87% of people that have bought this were people who were there last year.
That's interesting, that is.
So the customer retention is clearly very high.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, I can keep going back to it. I just love the idea. Blood Bowl it's a team in a box. Obviously, you can improve your team, do whatever, but if it's the first time going there, it's a team in a box, and you can buy one special character if you want to add the special character in, and you're good to go. And you've got 12, 13 people max. You're painting, it doesn't take you that long to do, and the game initially, just to get into it, is quite, once you understand the basics of it, well, put it this way, I was learning on the day how to play the game.
Yeah.
I was learning on the day, and I managed to score a touchdown, and it's such an easy game to get. It's such an easy game to learn to play, and then once you're into it, it's good to go. Like, and it's just, for me, I think it's a top game. Like, and
it's entry level. It's super easy to learn how to get from the beginning to an end of a game. Like, comfortably, it's very easy. It's really easy to learn, but it's incredibly difficult to master.
Yeah.
Like, once you get past the fundamentals and the core rules and you get into the tactics and stuff, it gets mental.
No, I see you guys chatting in the nomads, and you got all your noughts and X's and O's, isn't it? X's and O's, and all your setup and stuff. And I'm just like, I'm baffled, I'm blown away. I'm just like, okay. But I want to have some semblance of an idea of what I'm doing this time round. I want to, I'm going to put in the work, and I want to have an idea. I want to. So last time I was being confident to get to the end of the game, be able to play the game and understand it. I understand the game now. I now want to be able to competently and confidently be able to set myself up against different opponents, have an idea how to play against those opponents, and have a couple of things in the back, just if they do get through, how I'm going to get around it, these kind of things, and kind of figure this kind of stuff out. Just even if it's a basic plan, but at least have that, as opposed to what I did last time, which is like, well, let's see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I still had fun doing that, don't get me wrong, but I like the idea of being able to have just that little bit more control. Yeah. So, for me, we've already covered it. My expectations, if it's anything like the Bugman's Belter, it's just going to be a good laugh. Like, going with the nomads, my expectations is just to be able to hopefully make some friends, have a good time there again, and hopefully also this time I'm actually going to look at the Warhammer exhibition without pooping myself, because when we got there for Bugman's Belter, I was still writing I was putting my team list into, what's the app called? What was it we were using?
Tour Play.
Yeah, that's it. As I was walking around the exhibition, putting my team into Tour Play, and I was just getting really nervous.
Oh, hang on a minute. You're forgetting the part where we were strolling around the shop part of Warhammer World, And Jason, the guy I travelled down with, said, "Oh, so and so tour play," and you went, "What's tour play?" And I was like, "You haven't put your team on tour play. You're technically not registered to."
Yeah, I was not prepared at all. I mean, I had even just driven up from Bournemouth that day. It was like a 3.5, almost 4 hour drive up. Like, turn up on time, met you, right? Picked you up from the hotel, took you in, and then we're like, right, we got a couple of hours, and then I was just like, let's have a walk around the exhibition. It's just like, I was spending my time putting my team on tour. I didn't even know what I missed half of the stuff that was in there, because it's like, yeah. Oh yeah, sniper where? I don't know. Yeah, cool. So I'm actually, expectations getting up there, meeting the nomads, obviously having a good old time with yourself, and then also it's winning one game. For me, is to win a game. That's all I want to do this time round. Yourself, I think you already touched on it.
I think for me, it's when you've been playing Blood Bowl a little bit longer, it's hard to set an expectation. So I expect to finish it. At minute, obviously, with all due respect, you're at the very beginning of your journey. So to win that one game is an easily achievable feat, but is like a massive milestone for yourself. So for me, I'm going to give the same answer that I've given to pretty much every tournament I've ever been to. And I said it before finishing second at Bugman's Belter, before finishing like whatever it was, 5th or 6th from bottom at Dave Invitational. I always say I'll be happy with somewhere in the middle. Mm-hmm. Genuinely, I don't want my dice to be so lucky that I finish up near the top and have to say that, I just had a really good day with dice. I don't want them to be so terrible like they were at the Dave Invitational that no matter what I do or what my knowledge is, I were always going to be somewhere near the bottom because my dice were that bad. I just want a day that feels fair with the dice and finish somewhere in the middle, and that truly, on top of like all the social things and stuff we're excited about, will be genuinely the perfect weekend. Anything higher than that, that's fine. Anything lower than that, I'll blame my dice.
Yeah. So no, that's it. I think that's a fair poke, isn't it? At the end of the day, you don't want to go to the tournament and come down to the bottom, but it's mid-table.
Yeah, I mean, and I think I've always said that I'm perfectly fine. I'm perfectly fine with losing and coming dead last, getting the wooden spoon, if needed, so long as it's not all down to my dice. If I'm down there and I know that I'm down there because I've made mistakes, I've made the wrong plays, maybe I've brought a team that I wasn't 100% happy with, and I tried new skills that weren't really a good fit. Brilliant, because I can walk away and say, I made this wrong decision, I did this wrong, and that's why I'm down at bottom. But if you give everything and you think you've done everything spot on, and you just have a really shocking couple of games with dice, and honestly, this is like the 3rd episode of me going on about it now, but anybody that was at the Dave Invitational or played against me will attest that my dice were just so bad. I think I rolled... So I had a ghoul runner with the skill Sure Hands, which means that you get to re-roll when you fail to pick up the ball for free without using a team re-roll. So it's a skill re-roll. I can't remember it. I'm probably going to, when you say that a fish war, this big and it gets bigger and bigger when you tell the story, but I think it was 6 turns in a row. I rolled to pick up the ball and failed. And then of those 6 times, so that's nearly a full half of the game. Yeah. Bear in mind, there's 8 turns and a half. Of those 6 times that I rolled it and failed it, I used Sure Hands to re-roll it. And of those 6, 4 of them, it re-rolled into another one. It was fucking horrible, mate. Honest to God. I'm not even going to try and save face. I drove home with the fucking worst sour taste in my mouth. Honest to God. But the highlight, genuinely, and again, I know we're talking about Full Bait Cup, but I have to just give a shout out to everyone that I played against at the Dave Invitational, because I was having such a rough time with dice in literally every game I played, and every single one of the opponents were really sympathetic, absolute gents, really, really nice people that you know, if I were having a rough day with dice like that and playing against a knobhead, it'd have been a really, really shit time. But everyone was so lovely. Yeah. And I think that's just, again, I know we've touched on it a little bit. It's a testament to the majority of the community in Blood Bowl just being absolutely stand-up people.
Oh no, I think I absolutely I can't fault the Blood Bowl community. I mean, even if you play against a top player, they'll still, I played against you, and the amount of times you're like, let's stop there. This is probably what you should do, and although it's a friendly or whatever, I found that people were like, you could do this, you could do that. Oh, and you're like, oh my God, I completely forgot. And to be fair to me, I'm like, look, I've made my decision, but thank you for letting me know, because that's just the way I am. I'm like, or to be fair, sometimes when I was playing with you, I was just like, yeah, suck it, I'm going to go for that because Baz says so, and it worked. And it's like, but it's, it's nice that the community in Blood Bowl is that kind of way, and it nurtures. What's nice is nurturing the people from the bottom up, because at the end of the day, we want more people in it. We want more events, we want more stuff, so,
Absolutely.
And like you said, you had a great time, you had great gents, but it's one of the things I've yet to get into the 40k tournament scene or the Age of Sigmar tournament scene. I had tickets actually booked for the Leicester Grand Tournament, but it was straight.
Oh, you're not going anymore?
No, I cancelled basically because it was straight after going to the Full Beard Cup, and I was just like, and I sat down. I had a serious word with myself, and I said, "Come on, Steve, what do you want to do? What do you want to achieve?" And I was like, I could go into 2 tournaments half-assed or go into 1 tournament, 3/4 assed, and I was just like, I want to finish the year on a fair bit of a high, I want to do well, even again, look, I want to win that game, but if I was going to go into Sigmar, I'm in communities with Sigmar. Generally, again, everyone, I can't fault people in there. Everyone seems lovely. Everyone seems great. I want to experience it though, and at a tournament, I think if I wasn't fully ready for it, I don't know if I would enjoy it.
Yeah.
And again, I could be completely wrong, but at the present moment, I know where I stand with Blood Bowl. I'm now going with people that I like. I know all of that kind of stuff. I would do one big thing about the Leicester Grand Tournament. Why I pulled out. Another reason I pulled out was basically no one I knew was going to be going. No one else was in the same boat as me.
Right. So you were going to be the person attending alone, maybe feeling a bit nervous about attending alone.
Oh, well, I was already. I tell you, that was one of the reasons why I decided to pull out of it, because I was there. I don't know how this is going to go. I am on my own. And the thing is, me and what I am, because I'm one like a hobby, I will be branded. I'll have a top on. Because I want to enjoy the experience in that way. And for my social channels, I want to promote it and everything. But I was just like, I didn't feel comfortable, because I'd go there and I don't know. I could be speaking complete trash, but I could have people there.
No, but I get that. But that's a point in itself, that whether they're right or wrong, we do have these preconceived notions of, what type of people are going to be there or what sort of experiences you're going to have. And like I say, whether they are true or not, they're still valid worries to have. They cause people anxiety, and just having somebody there for you to attend with and realise for yourself that your preconceived notions were either wrong or right is a massive help, regardless of what game you're playing.
No, this is it. And the thing is look, I could be speaking out my butt, and I most probably am, and I will enter into one of the grand tournaments in the new year, be it Sigma or 40k, I haven't decided yet, but I will enter one of them. But I know where I stand with Blood Bowl. I'm also thinking, and I'm waiting for the tickets to get released for Beachhead down in Bournemouth, because that is who is it? It's the who are they called again?
I know what you mean, and I'm not going to tell you because I feel like I've had to remind you of the name so many times since I've known you.
I can see the logo right now is green and it's purple. It's got their 2 heads on it.
It's named after the skill that ogres have that you have to roll to see if they're too stupid to activate.
Bonehead. Yeah.
Fucking come on!
But yeah, no. So the Bonehead guys, and I'd like to reach out to those guys and get in and go down to that one and enjoy a local one, a big local one, and have some fun with that.
Yeah, it is pretty big. Yeah. I think it's one of bigger ones down that way. I think, to be fair, other than. Well, I don't know, actually. I think it is the biggest down there that way, I think.
It is. To my knowledge, please, by listeners, correct me if
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
wrong.
yeah.
That if I'm on the south coast here, like if there is a bigger one, please let me know. But I would like to, go from full bid cup into that one because again, I really enjoy this game. And
Yeah.
also, sorry, another thing, by the way, on the flip is the first bit of news coming out since so we got the Nova Open, haven't we? So there's some news for Blood Bowl coming out as well, which I'm really excited about. There hasn't been news
Yeah.
since the Elf Star Player came out. What was it? The Wood Elf Star Player came out.
Yeah, he got announced a couple of weeks after the Gnome team, so back end of May.
That's it, yeah. And
So
yeah. Oh yeah, and the Gnome team as well. You love the names. So, but yeah, sorry, I digress. But yeah, so bringing it back now. I need to now get ready for this tournament.
yes.
I think I've gotten ideas as to my game style, but
Okay.
I mean, firstly, do you have an idea what you're taking yet, or you keeping it under wraps? You anything to that?
My instinct, based on the terrible weekend in terms of games that I had at the Day Invitational, is to revert back to Wood Elves. That's my instinct. And if you'd have asked me a couple of weeks back, I was already locked in to give into that instinct to be like, yep, I'm taking Wood Elves. But I'm going to give myself a little bit of time and get another couple of games in, get myself back in the saddle a little bit, and I might take something different. I might potentially take Norse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not gonna be something wild and out there. I'm not gonna buy a completely new team that's mass out of my comfort zone. I'm not gonna be turning up with a stunty team like Halflings or anything. But I'm gonna try to resist the instinct to just fall back on Wood Elves. But no promises, because I'm almost certain I probably will do. But I'm gonna try. This is recorded. I'm gonna try to resist the urge to just be Wood Elves. But I'm probably gonna.
I mean, since I played with your Wood Elves and I enjoyed playing with them, and this is where I'm figuring out where I am with where I play and how I play. And so with me, as I'm looking at it at the present moment, tier 3, rule cool and that stuff. I'm sorry, I'm not going for any of that. I do have Snotlings. I have bought a box of gnomes. I've got all of them, but I'm not going to go into a tournament with them because two things. Firstly, it's starting on the back foot. I don't mind being an underdog, but I don't mind being an underdog who knows what I'm doing, not just this.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That's not a slight to tier 3 because the people there's two types of people who take stunty teams to tournaments. There's people who just love stunty teams and could care less if they get battered, and then there's people who have put some serious time into Blood Bowl as a whole, and specifically tier 3 teams, and have become quite good at making them work. And those people are fucking dangerous.
yeah. No, I mean, I think Rory, he had what did he have? Was it the?
He were playing Snotlings, but he had a Nurgling team that he'd proxied.
That was
for
it.
him.
But he was like, he knew his stuff. Like he won his first game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Against Dwarves or something was his first game, I think it was. But yeah, he did pretty well with it. So, removing tier 3 out of the way, what I found, there's three things that I found that I like doing when I play. One thing is, I actually like throwing the ball. I like throwing the ball. I found out at the back of the Bugman Spelter, and in a few different games, I found out that I'm quite good at putting players down that pitch and throwing the ball down the pitch. And from that, I've been able to create moves. Now, even if I drop the ball or anything like that happens, I've changed. I put the possession down the other end of the pitch. That gives me a couple of turns to regroup if things go wrong. But I found out that I like doing that. I like positioning stuff to be able to throw that ball down the pitch and give myself a couple of options. That was one thing I found that I like doing. The other thing I like doing is moving that ball, is being able to hand off that ball. Again, I think basically what I'm trying to say is moving that ball around the pitch is one thing I found I liked. I've tried I've tried playing games where using the box and being big strong teams and bashing and bashing and bashing. I've not enjoyed it as much. Like, it's quite restrictive. As soon as you lose that ball in the box, suddenly, if there was 4, 5, 6, 7 players in that situation, one or two of them gets knocked out, then you lose the ball, it gets dropped, and suddenly you've got 2 or 3 players who have got to pick up the scraps, where the opposition has probably just stuck a treeman or stuck an ogre into you, and then you've got guys still tied up. So I found that the bashing route wasn't, well, at the present moment isn't for me. I've not figured out how to bash properly.
I think that bashing is you've kind of got to throw yourself into it and accept that while you are learning that, you're probably not going to have a great time to begin, like a fun time to begin with. Mm-hmm. But once you get to that point where you learn the rhythm of, caging up and inching your way up the field, but just hitting people out of the way, it is very fun and it's very satisfying. Just as I'm sure it's really satisfying if you play tier 3 teams and you find a way to make them work and, be less shit and win games. I'm sure that's very satisfying. But yeah, it sounds very much that you like mobility, the ability to move people around the pitch more freely. Running people up, handing off, then that person moving and passing. Like, it sounds like you like the big plays.
Yes.
Like the planning the perfect move and things like that. And although planning that one big move is not always the most viable way to win games, but if that's where you get your satisfaction from, and it's going doing stuff like that is going to make you enjoy Blood Bowl more, means you're going to play Blood Bowl more, and you'll pick up the other stuff in time. So yeah, I would say you want to be aiming for be prepared, because the way you want to play, the teams that are good at that are really low armor, so you're probably going to lose players.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you want to be playing your Wood Elves, your Elven Union, your Skaven even. They've got a really good thrower. And obviously Movement 9 gutter runners that can catch fucking anything. So yeah, you want to be playing not necessarily one of those 3, but I mean teams like that.
Yeah. So the thing is obviously, there's those things. One thing that you kind of picked up on, which is I am concerned about, is by looking at those teams, it is the low armor value teams, and it's one thing I am very conscious of is always being able to have a back line, have something that's got a little bit of strength, that if a breakthrough or something goes wrong, because at the end of the day, it's down to chance. I'm going to throw that ball and it's down to chance that I catch it. You rolled out of 12 rolls, you got how many ones you got? You got 10 ones nearly. You failed so many times, and it's what I'm saying is I will make that move, but I need to find a team or figure a way of having something defensive on the back end of it. And that's where I kind of lean to yourself to have a chat. And obviously I want to lean to your community as well, because I want everyone else to get involved. I want people to kind of give me an idea what they think of, because over these couple of episodes, what I want to do is the next episode, I want to bring up a couple of teams and want to discuss them through with you. And what ideally I would like is you to come up with a couple of options, or you come up with what you think is the team. I can come up with what I think is the team, and then I want to have what the community think is the best team.
Absolutely.
Kind of do that, and then go through all of the teams on our next episode. And maybe there might be a couple of teams that come out of the community that's quite interesting, and then go into a final episode of me picking my team and start learning to play the team.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's where I am. I want to be able to, like you said, the big plays, get the ball down the pitch or move around and pass and move through things and then get it down there. And then, but also something that's got, if it goes wrong, I can quickly, or I can have people hang back that will still be strong enough. That was because when I played with your Wood Elves, I realised very quickly I had my throwers, so threw the ball down the pitch. All the Wood Elves are all over the place trying to do what's going on. And then there was a couple of times you broke through, and I'm there hoping that I was going to get that roll with that Wood Elf thrower to who's going to make that tackle. Or, I was catching up with you, but I still was just like, I need something that's going to be a bit stronger. Like those times I went in and I got knocked down, I was like, or I was rolling uphill, just to try and make a tackle, And also what's worse about rolling uphill is I ended up getting injured players. when
Yeah.
actually sometimes I'm like, I might as well let you just score. Like, it's that kind of,
Yeah.
which I don't, so I don't want that to happen if that's possible.
Yeah. Yeah. I think one of the biggest, like, obviously we're not going to talk about specifically what pool of teams you're going to choose from, but as you said, based on your play style, there's a very definite group of teams that are going to fit the way you want to play, and
Yeah.
for the most part, most of them have got really low armor, barring ones that have got one big guy that has got ridiculous armor. And a big obstacle for a lot of, because when I first started playing Blood Bowl, my main team was Necromantic Horror, who have got a nice mix of armor, and Wood Elves were my second team, and I really struggled with when I moved to Wood Elves that everyone were fucking dying. Like, it's how I'm sick of playing in games where 3 and 4 players are killed and stuff, and you just, when you make that change to teams with lower armor, you've just to a certain degree got to accept that people are going to die, and you've got to play in a way that you can score and hopefully win. But then your next priority has got to be, and how do I stop people from dying? Now, like you've just said, you might get to beef people up with skills if you've got a tournament rule pack, or if you're playing in a league, then they might earn experience to toughen them up. But with a lot of teams like that, generally the rule of thumb, mate, is just don't fucking risk them unless you absolutely have to. Don't put them next to an opponent unless you definitely don't want that your opponent's player to be able to move where he wants for free next turn. Like, you physically cannot afford him to, like, life or death. Just don't put your guys next to anybody, because if you imagine this, Steve, if I end my turn against you and nobody on my team is in base contact with anybody on yours, only one person on my team can get hit by using the blitz action. Nobody else can get hit.
True. That's very true. Very, very true.
Yeah, again, the moment you start leaning into it that way and, like, not basing that much, you give your opponent the mobility to move where they want because they're not based. So it's about finding that balance of, can I afford to not leave this player marked by one of mine, or am I happy that if I leave my player away from him and keep my player safe, that he's not going to move anywhere that is going to damage what I want to do in my next turn?
Yeah.
And obviously, this is getting a little bit deep into the tactic things that we're probably going to discuss in later episodes, but it were one of the big obstacles that I had when I started playing teams with lower armor.
But see, that's straight out the gate there. That's really helpful in the way that I'm going to think about playing, And what I'd like to do, again, once we pick this team as well, obviously I'm going to build a team, paint it, but I'd like to get onto Blood Bowl 3. And the idea would be to play some games against yourself and stream them so people can see me struggling through, and hopefully through Twitch or something like that, so we can commentate as we play, and obviously I'd like people's inputs and see how things go. I'd like the idea of it being a bit of a community yourself, obviously the Nomads as well, and the All and Nuffle community supporting me to help me pick a team that I will end up losing all 5 games in.
You've got you've got Xbox, haven't you, Steve?
I have got Xbox, yeah.
Which Xbox have you got?
Oh shoot, I don't know. It's why?
I don't think it matters. But I don't know if you know, but there's Discord integration with Xbox now.
Oh, nice.
So you install the Discord app on your Xbox, and I could join a chat channel from my Xbox. So we could talk to each other through that, through the Xbox. So when I would stream my game, it'll pick up my voice and yours coming through the TV. So that's sorted.
Oh, perfect. No, I'll get so. The thing is, whichever way it's got to get sorted, I'll get it sorted. I'll dig it out. The last time I played my Xbox was Fallout 4. It does have Blood Bowl 3 installed on it. I did install it after the belter. I got it down. I installed it, and then we had students. Everything was happening. And I moved it. The Xbox got put back up on the shelf. So I need to dig it out, make sure everything's updated and sorted on it. But I want to try and do as much as I can, progressing, getting ready for this tournament as much as possible. And hopefully people who are listening to this, or people who follow yourself or myself, will kind of see what we've done and how we got ready for a tournament. I know some people do get ready. I went into the last one blind. I really enjoyed myself. you don't need to be prepared or anything. But this time round, I'd like to be just a bit more prepared, just to go in there, and ideally win a game, and that's all, and that is that's my, if I won one game, I'd be happy. If I won one and scored a touchdown in one or two other games, I'll be happy. They're the things. Like anything else on top of that's a bonus. Already, it's going to be a good time. I'm looking forward to meeting up with the Nomad. I'm looking forward to being with yourself again. And how because it was a great night we had as well. Because obviously they had the Super Bowl on. It was great chatting. Just enjoying all of that. It'd be nice to do it for a couple.
I fell out of a car.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, so I hired a car to get all the way up there. It was a little Toyota Aygo, and I had yourself and Jason in the back of the car. Even when you got in the car, the door wouldn't open. I don't know what it was. We couldn't open the door of the car. I was thinking like we're bending this car. So I am going to be hiring another car to get out there, but I'll get a little bit bigger. I just thought, I'll get a little go-kart. It'll be all right, but no, I'm going to get something a little bit bigger this time, So, but you pull out the car at the end of the night, or it was the morning, wasn't it, when we got back to the hotel?
Well, God, it was like 2 a.m, wasn't it? Jesus.
No, we're watching the Super Bowl. But it's all of that. I'm looking forward to all of that. I'm looking forward to seeing what the community have, what their ideas on teams, teams, special players. Just to cover it all, do you remember what the rules are? Is it 1 million, 200,000?
1.2 million gold pieces, so quite a bit extra to work with.
And it's a tournament pack as well, isn't it?
Yep, there are. I think it'll be pretty much. I've got it in front of me. It's identical to the Bugman's one. So if you're playing a tier 1 team, you get 6 skill points to spend. I've got the match play guide that'll show you exactly what you can buy with them. But the simple thing is, 1 skill point is 1 primary skill. Secondary skills cost more. You can buy star players with these skill points. So in theory, just to keep it simple, if you're playing a tier 1 team, you could give 6 skills out. If you're playing a tier 2 team, you can give out 8. If you're playing a tier 3, you can get out 10. But as I say, you don't necessarily have to buy just the primary skills. You can double up and buy secondaries, or save them all up and buy mega stars, things like that. You can spend them on all different sorts of things. But the most translatable way is it's 1 point for 1 primary skill.
Perfect. No, that's
all I ever really use them for. I very rarely use secondaries or star players.
No, fair enough. So, but this is it. I'd like to see what the community have to say, what their ideas and what their kind of team list-ish would be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it'd be good. I'd like to... We'll see how many come in, because if there's a few, or there's quite a few, that you might have a couple of episodes of this talking about what the community think is a good team for me to take. I am... So
I tell you what I'll do is I will, to this episode, I'll attach a question on Spotify, like a poll, and I'll list... a couple of the teams that I think match or generally do match the play style you want to play. We'll let people vote, and people can leave a comment if they want as well, saying exactly what roster they think you should take for that team or whatever, and see if we get any feedback. As well as doing that, I'll put at some point a post in Nomads and get people to give their feedback on what sort of team you should take and things like that, and we'll just pool it all together, and we'll have you finishing first at Full Bid Cup in no time.
That would be sweet, that would. But no. So can you imagine? Like, I completely just get right down into it. Like, my head's completely in it. Like, just turn up on the day I'm there with matching tracksuit pants and top. Like, just Team Glabo gym straight in.
Brilliant.
I think I think that covers everything for this one. I see what we can put together.
Absolutely, mate. See what we can work with. But I'm very much looking forward to. But what I want to get across is that a lot of people. What I don't want people to think is that I'm some sort of Blood Bowl expert, because I'm not. Steve's coming to me because we're friends. I'm the person that he knows out of all his friends that plays Blood Bowl at all, if not the most. So Steve's coming to me for that reason. I'm just incredibly passionate about the game, and I love helping people get into it. I'm by no means an expert. There's probably 1 million people who would do a better job of helping Steve finish higher up them rankings. But, I just love the game, super passionate about it. And when somebody comes to me and says they're thinking about getting into it, even if I'm not the best person for it, I'm going to do everything that I can to assist them in achieving whatever they want to achieve. And then again, if it doesn't work, you just tell them it's the dice, not me.
No, that's it. No, I think it's been great. I mean, the thing is, I've got the Hobby Club Discord, which is something it's almost a year old now. But yeah,
yeah, God, wow.
That time has flown. But yeah, and Baz is in my Discord, and every time anyone's got a Blood Bowl question, I just send them over to Baz. Got people over in Washington asking, "Oh, I can't find anywhere to play," and within minutes, Baz is like, "Yeah, found you a league, found you a tournament. Go find those people, go play." Like, it's anything to get playing. Baz is the guy, and it's been brilliant. I love it. It's like
I found a league for somebody on the Shetland Islands.
Yeah. But that's it. And the thing is, all you can do is, some people don't know where to look for this stuff. Like,
absolutely. I'm not. It's not because I'm some sort of fucking wizard. It's just I'm super passionate about the game. I'm in a million different Facebook groups dedicated to Blood Bowl. I'm in groups for leagues in fucking Barcelona that I'm never going to play in. Like, my feed is like just 99.9% Blood Bowl and then one family member's picture on Facebook. So it's just, I just love it that much. I've got my tendrils spread all across the world, just out of passion for the game. That's purely it.
Brilliant. No, it's excellent. So well, thanks for your time tonight, Baz. I know I appreciate that.
No problem.
And I'm very much excited, very much looking forward to it. Very much, I think also what I might do is how I paint this team as well. I'm going to put it to community vote as well. It's going to be this kind of thing. Like I want as many people. You never know. We might get some people really putting in. I might start naming players after them. I just want this to be. I want this to be a team that people have been involved in. And then hopefully I won't let you down.
And if you do, we'll just fucking boot you out of Nomads. Yeah, it's no problem.
No, that's it. Yeah, you had your chance. You had pretty much every single expert in the Blood Bowl field here, Steve, and you still fucked. So no.
But no, it's been an absolute pleasure as always, mate. I like I just said, if I see anybody who wants to get into Blood Bowl, I'll do everything I can to help them. So I'm looking very much forward to the rest of the journey of preparing for Full Bid Cup. And you know what? Like I said, I think it's good to go full circle back to the beginning episode. If me, you, Gary, Brian, Lee, Tom, and I'm sure I'm forgetting one or two other Nomads names that are attending, which is terrible of me. If every single person attending loses all 5 games, who gives a fuck? Because it's gonna be a great weekend regardless. Meeting up with like-minded people, away from home, road trip, chilling out in between games and the night in between. It's already a brilliant weekend. Winning games just fills that extra little bit.
No, that's it. I literally, you hit the nail on the head. I'm just looking forward to it, and it's going to be a good old weekend. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I will put out in coming days to the community for some feedback on what sort of teams, and then in the next episode we'll discuss the pool of teams that have been suggested or any that you've got in mind yourself, and we'll go from there then, mate.
Perfect. No, well, thank you for your time. Thanks everyone who's listened and watched. And
maybe. But thank you very much for listening, everybody, and we will be doing another episode very soon, as I said, to discuss the team options for Steve, and hopefully Gary will be back with us so he can give us some input as well. But again, thank you very much for listening, and take care, and we'll see you in the next one.
Cheers, guys.